Hi all, and welcome to the benchmarking of this Dell Optiplex 3020. So I've managed to change the settings so the frame rate count will be recorded in Bandicam. And what I'll do first is I'll run the graphical benchmarks, Heaven Valley, and also the standard benchmarking program called PC Mark 10, look at the results. Then what I'll do is I'll do the same, but I'll have Bandicam recording the whole process just to see exactly what the final score is and how much resource was taken from this system. So that's what I'll do, is I'll launch those programs without Bandicam and then start up again with Bandicam and compare the results. Right, so I've run the Heaven benchmark, and without Bandicam recording we get an overall score of 703, and with Bandicam recording we're getting a score of 618. So I say that's about 10-15% reduction in performance comparing the two figures. Running the Valley benchmark without Bandicam recording, we get an overall score of 939, and with Bandicam recording, score of 841. So that's about 10-15% reduction in performance, I'd say, similar to Heaven. And finally, look at PC Mark 10, we're getting an overall score of 3221. Without Bandicam recording, and with Bandicam recording we're getting a score of 3088. So there's not much of a reduction, 5% or thereabouts I'd say, reduction in performance. Right, so what I want to do now is load up some games and talk through the performance. Okay, so first up is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO. Now I've got the Steam built-in frame rate counter going, which is in the top left. You probably won't be able to see that. I'm not sure how much resource it would take compared to having the Bandicam one going, but I've got Steam one going anyway, and we're getting nudging 40 frames per second with a lot of the quality settings set to high and some like anti-aliasing switched off. Right, so that's Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO as it's better known. Now, if there's one thing you can rely on in benchmarking, it's looking at Crysis. Now I noticed in the top left corner the Bandicam frame rate counter was low 30s before I started recording, and it's still that at the moment actually, which is pretty good. I'll just get some characters moving, and it's not stuttering at all. It's hovering around just above 30, which is really good. On medium and the highest resolution as well. So if you want to play the first Crysis on this machine, you're not going to have too much difficulty. Now I can't cap the frame rate, which is what I want to try and get into the habit of. So there's so stuttering is reduced, but it's still pretty consistent anyway. Okay, so that's the first Crysis. Right, so this is Apex Legends. Now I've got it on the highest resolution, and some of the quality settings are set to medium, and there's a few set to low. And we're getting mid-20s at the moment, not a lot going on. This is outdoors as well. So I think what I'd have to do is, to get past 30, is just get that resolution down a touch. So that's what I'll try and do. I'll just pause the recording, get that resolution down. I mean, it is, if you're sort of indoors, it's getting above 30. So what I'll do is just get that resolution adjusted. Right, so I've adjusted the resolution and we are getting better frame rates now. I mean, it's even nudging 52. I mean, there's only this one character on the screen. So I would imagine outside a lot of action, it'll probably go down just a little bit. So yeah, just drop that resolution down. to get better frame rates, or I suppose you could switch the quality down to low, whichever your preference is really. Right, so that's Apex Legends. This is Paladins, maxed out on all the graphical settings, highest resolution, no problems, nudging 60 frames per second, which is just perfect really. It's not a very taxing game despite it looking really good. So yeah, not too much problems with that. It's Paladins. It's PUBG PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Now this game was free and then it suddenly wasn't, and now it's free again. But anyway, I've got this on one of the lowest resolution values, and all the graphical settings set to very low, so it doesn't look that brilliant, and there's not a lot going on, to be honest, and it was sort of nudging 30. I'm sure that's going to go down a bit though once more characters get on the screen. There's a firefight going on, but I suppose it is playable to a certain degree from what I can tell at the moment. Okay, so that's PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Realm Royale. Now I'm pretty sure this must be the same engine as Paladins, because there's certainly a similar look and feel to it, so I think it's probably a version of the Unreal Engine, because I maxed out and we're getting over 50 frames per second. Just get some characters on the screen, I think. Yeah, so you shouldn't have too much problems playing this game. I mean, all the quality's up to max as well. So, just got chicken out there. So yeah, Realm Royale is certainly playable. Indoors it dips a bit for some reason, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the animation of the chicken that's reducing that frame rate. But yeah, no problem with Realm Royale. Looks quite a nice game as well. Okay.